If you lost or left your job in the past few weeks or months, and you've been searching for your next job for a while, and you thought you would have found something by now, and you're getting worried about the string of rejections and misconnections, and your days are blurring together, and you're finding yourself getting into slumps, feeling more and more confused and stuck, let me give you 4 pieces of advice to help you reconnect to your purpose and start moving forward. Advice number 1. Remember who you are and get back in touch with your identity. It is really easy when you lose your job to also lose your sense of identity. You thought of yourself as title at company, and now you don't have that anymore. And your attempts to get another title at company aren't working. So, who are you? And as you watch yourself do more things around the house and take on more school and parenting duties, you might have a voice in your head that's wondering, am I turning into a stay at home person? After how hard I've worked and all the qualifications and accomplishments I've achieved, this is really bad. But the reality is that your identity wasn't in the title or the company. You carry you with you everywhere you go, and you show up in everything that you do. Let me give you an example. If you told me to plan a middle school dance, I would do it in my way. My way tends to be gather all the information up front, analyze, synthesize, come to my own conclusion, and then make a really compelling presentation to convey my findings. I almost always do all the work myself, and I tend to approach things like an individual contributor or a craftsperson. It almost never occurs to me to delegate things. If you told someone else to plan a middle school dance, they would do it in their way. Their way might be list out all the tasks that need to be done, organize a group of people, and delegate things to each person. Check in, manage the group, make sure it all gets done. They might approach things more like a general manager, and it would never occur to them to do it my way. All of which to say is the way that you do one thing is the way you do everything. The way you do house chores and pack lunches and deal with drop-off schedule is also the way you approach work problems. Your identity wasn't in your job. Your job was just one place where you expressed your identity, your values, and your unique way of doing things. And you're still doing that all day, every day. Work and home are actually kind of fake categories, or at least unhelpful ones. A better set of categories is things I enjoy because it expresses this part of me, things I enjoy because it expresses that part of me, things I don't like at all because it goes against these values and preferences. Whether those activities happen to be at work or home or school actually doesn't matter at all. Every task is an opportunity to rediscover and lean into who you really are. And as you do this, notice the patterns and themes that emerge. These are your building blocks for how you like to solve problems, get things done, and create value where there wasn't any before. Which brings me to piece of advice number 2. Shape your building blocks into potential opportunities. As you identify your building blocks, I want you to know all your previous roles were just one particular shape that you arranged your building blocks in. And once you know what those building blocks are, you can start thinking about new, different shapes you could arrange them in. I like to think of this like a product strategy. You've got these blocks, what can you do with them? Who has a high priority problem that would be really well solved by these blocks? Let me give you an analogy. It's just like when people first developed the blockchain. You have this technology that operates in a certain way. And then you ask, okay, who needs this? What problem can this technology solve that people would pay a bunch of money for? Maybe it's retail companies with complex supply chains who need to keep track of where everything is at all times. Or maybe it's groups of friends who are on vacation together who need to keep track of who's paying for what and reconcile their expenses. Or maybe it's governments that want to maintain clean records of births and deaths and name changes to prevent identity theft and fraud. From the outside, those 3 things might look totally random. Different industries, different problems, different kinds of customers, but there is a common theme here. They're all different ways to shape blockchain technology into a solution to someone's problem. And you are doing the same thing to figure out your career next step, except with you and your building blocks. So you don't have to stay stuck in the rut of industry and function and what logically follows from what you've been doing so far. Break your strengths and skills and experiences down into individual building blocks and then see what else you can build with them. You might come up with a bunch of options that look as different from each other as the 3 blockchain use cases I just talked about. But it's not actually random or scattershot or a big career pivot. It's just a new arrangement of the same old building blocks that you have been using all along. Then, piece of advice number 3, run small experiments. Once you have a couple of ideas of what you could shape your building blocks into that sound fun and exciting to you, the best thing you can do is stop thinking and start running small experiments. Pick one of your ideas and start actually doing that thing in a small, doable way. Here's some examples of what I mean. If your idea is, I might want to be a fiction writer, go write one short story. If you're thinking, I might want to do independent consulting projects instead of another 9-to-5 jobs, set up one small consulting project. If you're thinking, I might want to run my own e-commerce shop, great. Do the first step of setting up a shop, which might be identifying one product that you would want to sell. Or if you're thinking, I might want to pivot to marketing, great. Most jobs make you do a mini project as part of their interview process now. So ask around to see what a marketing interview mini project might look like, and then do a couple of those yourself. These kinds of small experiments let you quickly test your hypothesis and figure out whether this new thing is actually a good fit for you or whether there are unexpected parts of it that you just don't like. And you would be surprised how little action you need to take to create way more clarity. And just as importantly, these small experiments will help you get a sense of progress and momentum. Figure out what I want to do next is vague and insurmountable. Do this one thing is concrete and doable. And when you get concrete and doable things done every day and every week, you generate energy and momentum that keeps you moving forward. And piece of advice number 4, create external structure to support you through the inevitable bad days. You will go through emotional ups and downs through this process. There are going to be days when it all seems impossible and you have no idea what you're doing. You just want to give up and go to bed. Nothing is going wrong when this happens. This is part of the process. The best thing you can do is expect this to happen and create external structure that can support you and keep you moving forward when it happens. That external structure could be a group of friends or a community of people that are all doing something similar, and you report your progress and troubleshoot with them on a regular basis. Or coffee chats with people who are charting similar paths to inspire you and remind you that what you want is possible. It could be listening to podcasts with people that inspire you. It could be having a coach or a mentor that you talk to on a regular basis, even staying in touch with hobbies that re-energize you. Whatever it is, put pre-scheduled things on your calendar every couple of days that have a high chance of giving you a shot of inspiration and purpose. That way, when the stuck points and setbacks and what am I doing again inevitably happens, you are no more than a day or two away from another booster shot of energy to keep you moving forward. And if you're feeling stuck right now, I want you to come talk to me. If you're between jobs, you might be wondering if you can afford coaching. But the nice thing about a free consult call is that it moves you forward, even if you don't hire that particular coach. In a consult call, you get an expert's perspective on why you're feeling so stuck. And you get an expert's game plan for how to get unstuck. You might agree with me, and that diagnosis and game plan alone might be enough to get you moving forward without ever hiring me. You might disagree with me, and that spark of disagreement will illuminate your own diagnosis, your own game plan, and make clear to you what you have to do next and what resources you need to support you. You might agree with me, but think my price is too high for your budget, in which case I am happy to refer you to coaches that use my methodology but charge whatever price is comfortable for you right now. I've had all 3 of these things happen in my consult calls, and I love all of them because my number one priority isn't necessarily that you hire me, it's that you take a step forward. And all of these are ways that you can use a consult call to take a step forward, even if you decide not to work with me. So come talk to me today. Go to the link above and book a free coaching consult.